What's going on? It's your homeboy, the Underground Perspective, coming back at you. The black Tim boots and kicking down the door. Today, I want to talk about Big Sean. I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about the album. A lot of people, some people like it. Me personally, I liked it. I listened to the whole entire album. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Also, from a fan's point of view, like I do have my certain critiques about it, but I do feel like it was bad timing. But I'm gonna get into that later because once upon a time, Big Sean, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing his name. You know, you could not go anywhere without hearing his name, and that was during what I would like to call the radio era. That was during the radio era. That was when people were really tapped in to the radio. You know what I mean? And what was hot on the radio. That was when people were outside. Nobody was glued to their phone 24-hour, 24/7 days a week. Like since COVID started, it's like this big uptick of people are glued to their phone 24/7, myself included. But you couldn't go anywhere. Like you couldn't drive anywhere without listening to Big Sean. You know what I mean? During the 2012 era, you couldn't go nowhere. Like Big Sean was everywhere. And also like back then during those days, back in like the 2012 era, who's all in the conversation? It was always Big Sean, Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like he was in that. It was a big four. Once upon a time, there was no big three that everybody talks about in hip hop today. You know, the big three being Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole. Now Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole. You know what I mean? Or you could call it the big two. You can call it the big two, just Kendrick and Drake. But once upon a time, uh, Big Sean was a topic of conversation, and as a fan, I try to figure out like, yo, what happened? Cause I know he dropped Detroit in 2012. Then he had a drop Detroit 2 in 2020. Fans did not get Detroit 2 until 2020. I did not know that Detroit 2, and I never even listened to Detroit 2. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be fair to Big Sean. I haven't listened to to Detroit 2. I have to go back and listen to Detroit 2. But that extended period between 2012, then you drop in 2020. Now all of a sudden you come out of hiding and you just drop out of nowhere. After the rap beef ended. Is like what happened. You know, and then even now, like listening to the album, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like the same Big Sean that we first heard, the Big Sean from the 2012 era, that Detroit era, that era where everybody was talking about him. It doesn't really hit the same. Now he got the Better Me Than You project that's out, and I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm reading comments. I also want to be fair to Big Sean. What happened? So the first thing that I noticed personally as a fan, he like disappeared from the public eye. It's not like Kendrick. Like even though Kendrick, he has his ways of disappearing or whatnot, but Kendrick, he's gonna make sure you get little tad bits here and there. You're gonna get your mixtapes, you're gonna get your Section 80s and all that good stuff. Big Sean, nothing. He and I'm even hearing podcasters from Detroit talking about how disappointed they are in Big Sean. Nothing. And this goes to my point about hip hop. Hip hop is fast moving. Like hip hop moves very fast. The culture can change in an instant. You know what I mean? It could change overnight. So and that's one mistake that I think messed up Big Sean a little bit, like his persona, his image to this day. Like look at Kodak Black, for example. Kodak Black has been on an insane feature run. When you look at Kodak Black, he's been on the same insane feature run. He may not have that many albums or whatnot. I gotta go back and check. I'm just going off the top of my head, but he's been on an insane feature run. Like Kodak Black, he's feeding his fans. He's feeding the fan base, and he's also changing with the culture, and he's keeping up with the culture. You know what I mean? Like so and but Big Sean, it is just baffling. It's absolutely baffling. And to be fair to Big Sean, the only problem that I see with this album, I'm gonna give an honest critique of the Better Me Than You album. My only concern or my only critique, well, one of two critiques that I would have. The first one would be the timing. The timing of this album, it was weird, it was strange, it was off. Not only that, the PR, the PR behind this album was strange. It was off. Everything about it fell off. From the Charlemagne the God interview, showing the text messages between you and Kendrick the Charlemagne the God, woo, it was all off. Is the crying on a live stream. I get he's going through some emotional things right now, but they have therapists for those type of things. And yeah, and but you can hear the growth and the development of Big Sean. Like personally, I just think that he released it like with bad timing. If he would have released this album, let's say summer of next year, or let's say in June of next year, oh, would have been perfect. You know what I mean? But the timing of this album, comes right after the great hip hop war has ended. Google, that's what they call it, the great hip hop. Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and that's still fresh on everybody's mind. And then you had the Chris Brown and the Quavo situation. So everybody dropping diss records at each other. Like hip hop currently is in a state of beef. Hip hop is currently in a state of civil war, civil unrest, pandemonium everywhere. Pandemonium 2024. That's where hip hop is, a state of unrest. Everybody wants beef. Everybody wants round two. Everybody, you know what I mean? Who's dropping a diss today? You know what I mean? Like look at the topics that's trending on Twitter, that's trending worldwide within the hip hop culture. Ice Spice, she talking about beefing with somebody. Her and Lotto, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know what they beefing about, but they talking about dropping some diss records against each other. So when you look at the overall culture, the overall sentiment of hip hop is in a state of beef, a state of, you know what I mean? A state of war, Everybody pick a side. Everybody run to a side. It's up. Let's do this. You know what I mean? So the timing of releasing this album is I mean, from a fan's perspective, a fan of hip hop, is very odd, but I think the album is good. My one more thing, my last critique is I get the Chance the Rapper reference. I was watching a Joe Budden podcast and he mentioned Chance the Rapper. And I must say that I get that. That is completely understandable. Those are the same vibes that I get. Chance the Rapper. When Chance the Rapper now, I don't know if you heard about the news or not. Chance the Rapper is going through a divorce. And one of the reasons that Chance the Rapper fell off is that people did not want to hear you rap about, oh, I love my wife, sprinkled over an entire album. Oh, my wife. You know what I mean? Like, that's your topic, and you sprinkle that, like, over an entire album. Like, we get it, bro. You love your wife. Good. We get it, bro. But you just sprinkling it over and over again, every song. Like, geez, give me a break, but so I get that. And, that would be my only critique. Like over this, I'm with my girl, my kid. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 songs, maybe 4 or 5, maybe talking about your girl. You know what I mean? And I also hear the maturity. But this is something I do like. I like the maturity in Big Sean. You had people saying like, "Oh yeah, we need maturity in rap. We need to see these rappers' growth and development." You know what I mean? We want Drake to rap like he developed, and then the moment Big Sean raps about growth and development, we criticize him. Nah, let's be fair to Big Sean. This isn't a critique to Big Sean and none of that. This is we being fair. Overall, I enjoyed the album. Some people, they got mixed feelings about it. Me, I think I'm gonna give it a 7, maybe 7.5, maybe a solid 8. 7.5, maybe a solid 8. I enjoyed the album. Like I said, I only got pretty much two critique. One is the timing. The second one being, I hear a lot of Chance the Rapper in it. Rapping about your girl, we get it, you love her, but other than that, that's my perspective. So I would like to hear your perspective. What do you think about it?